find deals. All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, it's Sid Hamid with Brick Firm Properties and Construction. So today we're going to talk about, real estate investing in your local backyard. What does that really mean, right? So how do you find transactions and real estate in your backyard? Like 5 miles, 10 miles, 20-mile radius in your area. That most people that want to invest in real estate, they want to invest in their local backyard. They don't necessarily want to invest in Florida or Texas or Arizona or Kentucky. Now, some people may, yes, there's nothing wrong with that. But me personally, I'm talking about myself, I like to have control over the real estate transactions that I do in my local backyard. And we're going to talk about how to find the deals and transactions in your local backyard. That's what the event is about today. And we're talking to, homeowners. We're talking to absentee homeowners that are out of state that may have inherited property. We're talking to tired landlords that are looking to possibly sell their property at the highest value, highest return, get the maximum amount of money out of their property. We're talking to people that live in California, New York, Pennsylvania. Their mom and dad may have passed away. There's a property here in Upper Marlboro or Largo or College Park or DC or Virginia that they have inherited, and they want to maximize. They want to maximize their return and their value, right? So we're going to talk about that. Owners of vacant properties that are hard to sell, like they call it zombie properties. So there's a lot of properties out there that are just like off the main road, and they're just right there, like Route 301 or Route 4. They're just right there off the main road. Those are considered zombie properties, and a lot of times they sit there for a long time. We're going to talk about those properties as well. We're going to talk about real estate investors that are first-time investors. If you're 25, 35, 45 years old, you're a first-time real estate investor, you want to get started in the business, and you want to understand how to do step one, how to do step two, how to do step three, kind of create a process. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I've been right here in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area for 50 years. I've been in this area. So I grew up in Arlington, Virginia, and then I did stuff in Woodbridge, and then New Carrollton, and then in Lorton, Virginia, and then Chantilly, and then we moved to D.C., and then we moved to Howard County and Arundel County, and so we moved around. So the way I got started, just my background is that, I am from Kashmir, the mountains of Kashmir. So if you Google the mountains of Kashmir, I actually grew up in a mountain, right? So I lived in a cave. I had no electric, no water, no gas, no refrigerator, no stove. I was born in a cave, and we lived off the moonlight and the sunlight, and that's the way we lived, off of nature. Okay, so we're going to show you guys how to find these properties in your local backyard, and these are some of the PowerPoints just to have so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. So if you're a realtor and you're looking for off-market deals or listings, how do you go about getting that? If you're a contractor, you're looking for steady renovation work. If you're a wholesaler, you're trying to find and assign a transaction or deal. And if you fix and flip homes, we're going to talk about how to find those deals and how to connect with the right people, right? Why local deals matter, right? Why local deals matter. I'll tell you what, look, again, I've done this for since 1989. I got in construction. I got into actual real estate investing and fixing and flipping, around 2001, 2009, 1999, 2001. I got into the whole understanding, logical, making sense. And then as I got to develop my skill sets, and believe me, I have spent, over $100,000, going to California, taking classes, going to Florida, taking classes, going to Texas, taking classes. I've taken multiple classes, Robert Kiyosaki, and, even that Fortune Builders. And I've taken a lot of classes. I've spent about $100,000, right? Understanding what needs to be done. But the bottom line, the deals are right in front of us, right? We're going to talk about how to find your local deal in Temple Hills, in Prince George's County, in Falls Church, in Fairfax, in Howard County, Anne Arundel County, Montgomery County, how to find these deals. We're going to talk about that, right? We're going to talk about how to, know the area. You got to know the area. So for me, I grew up in Arlington, Virginia. So I went to Wakefield High School, and I had the choice to go to T.C. William in Alexandria because I lived on the borderline. And then I learned the area, watched the demographics, the geographics. I've seen the neighborhoods change over time, right? So, and then local deals are faster to turn around. So, for example, if you got a local deal here, and you're 5 miles away, 10 miles away, 20 miles away, and if there's a fire on your investment property, let's say you have a property in Temple Hills and you're 10 miles away, and your neighbor calls you and says, hey, look, there's a fire at your property. You want to be able to get to the property right away and be able to address that situation right away, right? If there's a tree that falls on your house and you're 10 minutes away, 30 minutes away, you want to be able to address that. So time value of money. Time value of money. So my thing is, at this age, doing this for so many years, I've done stuff that are like 2 hours away, 3 hours away, 4 hours away, and then I had to bring it all back in because I was spending a lot of time on the road going back and forth to these transactions. And I said, you know what? At this age, right, matters to me is time. The most important thing I have is my time. And how do I maximize and how do I make the most amount of money per hour, right? So for me, I'm $1,000 an hour. My time is worth $1,000 an hour. And over the years, I've been able to calculate that. And you guys got to figure that out. What is your time worth per hour, right? You got to figure that out, for you guys. And, at the end of the day, God wakes us up. He gives all you guys the same amount of time, 24 hours in a day. If you wake up at 5 o'clock, you wake up at 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, 9 o'clock, whatever. You and I got the same amount of time. It's the choices and decisions we make that lead us with our results, right? It's a time value of money. So my thing is, I want to work smart, I want to work hard, and I want to work consistent. But I want to work where I could get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. 30, 40 minutes. So I'm not looking for any more transactions that are 2, 3, 4, 5 miles away, West Virginia, all these things. I'm not looking for those things anymore. So I'm looking at my time and value and my money, right? The faster I could get in, the faster I could get out, and the faster I could get my money. And plus, we're looking for neighborhoods, right, that are moving, that are fast. Like the days in the market are 7 days, 10 days, 30 days. They're rotating. Like people are putting contracts. But we're looking for fast moving neighborhoods, right? So my thing is, look for those areas. You have what I call Class A, Class B, Class C, Class C plus, C minus, Class D, Class E, right? So you have to select. If you're a new investor, as I was, 25, 27 years ago, I started off in class C plus and C minus and D neighborhoods because that's what I could afford, right? I could afford a $150,000 house. I could afford a $250,000 house. I could fix and flip it and make some money, quick $20,000, $30,000, right? As I elevated and grew up, and now I only focus on class A, B, and C, right? I only focus on class A, B, and C, meaning you buy the property for 600, you sell it for 1.2. You buy the property for 700, you sell it for 1.4. You buy the property for 800,000, you sell it for 1.9, right? So I focus on those neighborhoods because I've developed my skills over the years. I'm not expecting you guys to do that right away, but there's a progression, right? There's a progression. And as you are in the business, first-time home buyers, first-time investors, you're buying properties, you're going to learn these things, right? And you're going to adapt. The type of properties and deals that we look for are probate properties, vacant, abandoned homes, pre-foreclosure properties, tax delinquent, divorce, code violation. So there's a lot of landlords that have bought properties and they have code violations, right? We target them, we call them, we skip trace the information, and then we reach out to them and we simply ask them, hey, are you looking to possibly sell your property? Right? How do you find the local deals in the blueprint, right? How to find them in your neighborhood. Driving for dollars, for example. If you're driving around, like I still do this today. Matter of fact, yesterday, I was in the Montgomery County area in Germantown. I was driving around the neighborhood because we're doing a transaction over there. I found a couple properties that had a sticker on the front door. And I took a picture of it, and I took a picture of the address. I went into the Brighton MLS. I looked it up, found the owner, found the information. I skip traced the owner. I said, hey, what are you doing with this property? It looks like it's been abandoned or vacant. So you got to drive around the local neighborhoods. I live in Bowie, Maryland, so I drive around. I go into different neighborhoods, and I see things. I look. And if I see a property that's got high grass or just neglected, I take a picture of it and I find it and I look for the owner and I give them a call. All right, use the tools. You got Deal Machine. There's a website called dealmachine.com, PropStream, Driving for Dollars. These are little resources that you guys could use that are available to you guys. Public records. You can search the probate property foreclosures or tax liens on the internet. It says so much information available. Websites, local county websites. So, for example, we have a virtual assistant that logs into every single county. So, PG County, Howard County, Anne Arundel County, Fairfax, Alexandria, Manassas County, Prince William County. We log into all the websites online and we pull probate records. Who died? When did they die? And we try to reach out to them, right? So the best information you guys are going to get, right? The best information you're going to get is from the courthouse, right? So regardless, if it's a divorce case, a bankruptcy case, or a foreclosure case, or a short sale, any type of case, it has to go through the United States court system. So where you're going to get the best data and the best information is from the United States court system. So if you guys can log into the court system and set up your information on the website, you could pull and abstract information about probates and foreclosures and so forth. All right. So get connected to your local county court houses and systems and set up a profile so you guys could basically look at what's coming in. And the court system updates every 30 days, right? So they get behind, but the court clerks do get behind. People die every day. People get divorced every day. People get bankruptcy every day. So they do get behind. So it's a 30-day, 60-day lag, depends on the court system. Okay, so watch your systems, get current, and then watch the websites. Okay, and how to find the local deal in your neighborhood, right? We use tools like PropStream, we use Deal Machine, we use these particular tools, and I'm giving you the resources. You could use them too. I want you to succeed. So my thing is today is to share the information in terms of what I do on a consistent, regular basis. Now I have a team. I got a team in Nicaragua. I got a team in the Philippines. I got a team in Dubai, in India. I got a team in Nigeria. So I have a team of people. So we have about 35 people working for us doing multiple different things at the same time. So over the last 27, 28 years, I've really defined break firm properties. We have our admin team, our operation team, our marketing team, our callers, and our daytime callers, our evening callers, and our follow-up callers. And these are the things I'm going to show you what I do, right? In terms of networking, right? Go to events, go to the different meetup events, meet people, meet your local investors, meet your local private cash investors that got capital. They may have a 401k plan or a retirement account plan, and they're willing to pull out the capital to give it to you as you fix and flip the home. And then maybe you negotiate a 10% or 12% interest rate, 12 months, 6 months, based on your negotiation skills. But meet and network with your local meetup groups and your investors and build your pipeline. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 30 years, close to, and I have a 2,000-3,000 people in my pipeline that I work with on a consistent, regular basis. But there's only top 5-6 people that I rotate around because I know they know me, I know them. And if I say, hey, Jim, I need $700,000 tomorrow. I'm buying this house in Bethesda. It's worth $1.8 million. I'm getting it for $700,000. I'm going to put $300,000 into it, and I'm going to flip it. So I have investors. And again, this business is scalable, right? It's a scalable business. You have to start, and you got to build your trust, build your name, build your reputation, and do what you say you're going to do, right? In your neighborhood, talk to your neighbors, talk to your contractors, the property management companies. There's a lot of property management companies that are managing properties for landlords. And now a lot of these landlords will get older. They'll become 60, 65, 75, 80, and they're going to want to sell the portfolio. And who knows about that? Well, the people that know about it is the property management companies, right? Get to know the local property management companies and talk to them and build a rapport and a relationship and build your trust, right? Show them who you are, what you could do for them, show them your value, what value do you bring to the table, and how you could help them, right? They could give you deals. I've got multiple deals from property management companies. And joint venture, right? So you have a lot of guys out there that are realtors or that are just hustlers. I mean, they just like street hustlers. They know how to find the deal. They know how to, look for it, and they'll find it. And they're like, hey, Sid, I got this transaction on Neller Road, and it's worth $600,000. I got it for $300,000. I'll flip it to you for $350,000. I want a $50,000 wholesale fee. So know your numbers, know your community, know your neighborhood. There's plenty of deals out there, but you got to build your brand, you got to build your name, and you got to start. You got to start, right? You can't just think about it and not do anything about it, right? The step number one is write it down, right? So I always say the best tool that you have is a pen and a paper, right? Pen and a paper. Creative imagination and creative visualization. You got to visualize that, hey, I bought this house for $350,000. I'm going to sell it for $700,000. I'm going to put $200,000 into it. You got to use your mind, and you got to visualize And you got to be able to do that because, without visualization and mindset and mind control, it doesn't work, right? How to talk to the homeowners. We're going to talk about this a little further. So we have a call center, and we make about almost like close to 3,000 phone calls every consistent week between our callers. And what we do is a call review, right? On every Wednesday, we review calls like Leo, Isaac, Joseph, Flip, Holman, Fernanda. They're making phone calls. We review the calls. Hey, you did great on this call. Hey, you should have said this. You should have did this. The client said this. You should have picked up on that. So we review calls. We do review calls. So you guys got to be able to know how to talk to the homeowners, right? So you got to be comfortable. You got to know your neighborhood. You got to show empathy if it's a probate deal. And you got to understand the circumstances and the challenges that the homeowners are going through. And you got to focus on the problem. The problem is the homeowner that inherited this property lives in California. The property is here in Upper Marlboro or Alexandria, Virginia, or Fairfax or Montgomery County. And they just want to get it sold. They want to get it done. They want to remove this thing off of their books. You got to be able to be the problem solver. Show them your value. Show them who you are. Show them your credibility, right? You got to build that stuff up, bro. You got to like really work on your business and work on yourself and show them that you could provide value to help with their problem, right? And then make a clear offer, right? Make a very clear offer. Now, what we do is we do a net sheet, right? We do a net sheet. We say, hey, Mr. Homeowner, we're going to offer you, $387,000, and here's all the expenses on the sales side, right? We're going to basic taxes, and recordation fees, closing cost fees, attorney fees. We're going to show all the net sheet. We're going to say, hey, Mr. Homeowner, you're going to walk away with, $297,000 in 30 days, right? People want to see the money. They want to smell the money. They want to taste the money, right? They want to see it, smell it, taste it. They want to feel the money. So you got to be able to show that. Sorry about that. My phone is ringing. Okay. So my thing is be vigilant, right? Understand your neighborhood, understand your clientele, and do your research, right? Do your research. So if you are a realtor and you don't have a license and you're not a realtor, you can run comps, and where you can get your comp information a lot of the times is from Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, PropStream, Preview. These are some of the tools that are available to you guys. Even AI. AI has gotten so intelligent, so smart. And the more that I have been playing with AI, and the more I am understanding AI, and the more that I'm talking to AI, right? It's like I'm building a relationship, a personal relationship with AI. And it can do a lot of things for you because it gets to know you, and it gets to know your business, and it gets to know your business model and what you do, and it will come back with good information, right? The ARV and the repair cost, right? What is the ARV, the repair cost? So if you're buying the property for $300 and the repair cost is $200, and the after repair values, $700,000, you got to be able to do your calculations, your numbers. Every neighborhood is going to be different. Alexandria, Virginia is going to be different than Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is going to be different than Bethesda, Maryland. Bethesda, Maryland is going to be different from Anne Arundel County. Anne Arundel County is going to be different from Calvert County, right? Know your neighborhood, know your community, right? Understand your area. There's plenty of deals out there. And I'm going to show you guys tonight how you guys can find deals right here on the computer, right? And again, this is a PowerPoint presentation that I am doing where you guys could understand. Okay, phone calls that never stop. They never stop. These goddamn phone calls never stop. I'm getting calls 9, 10 o'clock at night all the time, man. Anyway, you got to learn how to control your mind and control your phone calls too. Anyway, other tools that you could use: PropStream, batch leads, get the data. The data that you want to get is data that are like, outside, out of state homeowners, vacant properties, probate, behind on taxes, bankruptcy filings, behind on code violations. You want to be able to pull that data. And I'll show you guys how to skip trace it and how to pull that data, right? When you're doing drive-by, right, driving for dollars, and you're in DC, you're in Virginia, you're in Maryland, you're driving around, and you see a vacant property, you see a sticker on the door, says stop order or whatever, take a picture of the property and analyze it and get a hold of the owner. All right, I'll show you guys that. Google Maps and Street Views. This is amazing, right? So a lot of times somebody may call me, be like, hey, listen, I got a property on 511 Sheridan Street Northwest. I want to get rid of it, and I want you to come out and look at it. So but before I even go out, I look at the neighborhood, I look at the surrounding areas, I go on Google Map, I do an overview, see what's selling, what's going on, and then I make my decision. Do I even want to go to the appointment, right? Your local courthouse. So every property, Alexandria, Fairfax, Northern Virginia, Prince George's County, Howard County, everybody has a courthouse, a local courthouse. And all the filings have to be filed inside the courthouse. Every single attorney has to file. So what we do is, we have a dedicated person. All she does is monitor every single courthouse. She monitors every single courthouse. So that's how we get a lot of our transactions from the probate courthouse and eviction data, right? She's analyzing the data, who filed what. We got the attorney's name, we got the PR's name, the executive, and then we basically do our analysis, and then we figure things out, right? In this business, you got to be able to be smart. You got to be intelligent. You got to be able to be on your toes, and it's a consistent thing. It's not just like I'll do it on Saturday. I'll do it on Wednesday. We do this business every single day. We're a multi-million-dollar business, and I can show you guys also on how to be a multi-million-dollar business, right? So this is a transaction that we bought in Rockville, Maryland. We bought it for $400,000. We got about $60,000 into it, and we're gonna sell it, and it's gonna be listed next week for $725,000. After cost and everything, we'll make about $265,000, maybe around $235,000. If there's any concessions or anything like that, right? So this is just one example. Now here are some of the other examples that you guys could utilize if you are a realtor and you want to search for properties online. And if you're not a realtor, but you have a family or a friend that is a realtor, right? You could come in here and you could put in, whatever address. So I'm just going to put in, one of these addresses. Let's just say I'll put in, this address here. I click on that. I come in here and I click a radius like 0.1, 1 mile, 2 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles. So I'll put in 25 miles from this particular property. Okay. And I'm going to take this out, right? I just want to look at what's active and what's coming soon, right? So right now, we have about, and then I come down here and then I narrow it down. I want bank-owned properties, right? I want properties that are bankruptcy, HUD, that are probate, that are short sales, that are third party, and undisclosed. So that narrowed it down to 234, right? Changed it. Then under property condition, I'm going to look at stuff that's below average or needs major repair. What you do is you hold the control button down and you click. So now that brings that to 19. So there's 19 properties right now on the internet that are 25 miles away from this subject property in Rockville, Maryland, that are in the need of repairs and that are probate, that are third party, that are just non-disclosure, that are bank-owned properties. Now, let's take a look at these. Can you make money in your backyard? Can you make money in your backyard? The answer is yes, right here, right? So you can make money in your backyard. Now, if I click on the distance, right? I click on the distance and I say, hey, I want the closest property to Rockford, Maryland. So you got 8.3 miles, you got 9.1, 9.6. So it tells you the closest property in that area, right? And then for me, what I do is I look at the these categories here. I look at the days on the market. Like how long, right? How long have they been trying to sell this property, right? So I look at the collective days in the market and I analyze the data, right? This guy, he had it on the market for 341 days. Now total today, he may switch to realtor, got another realtor for, and it's been relisted for 210, 317 days, 197 total collective data. The days of the market is 39. And then I also look at the price change, right? How many people have changed the price? So this guy, he had it for 675. He reduced it to 649. He had it in the market for 84 days, right? This particular guy here, he had it originally listed, previous list price for $499, and now it's currently $499, and it's 50,000 reduction. So you want to look at the people that have motivation, that want to sell, and that need to sell. They have to sell, right? And they've been beaten up, they've been smacked around, they've gotten all kinds of offers, low offers, high offers. Just been smacked around. They just said, you know what? They're tired. They're tired. They just want to get rid of the property, and you want to get them when they're tired, right? As an investor, I'm talking to investors right now. I'm talking to real estate agents, and I'm talking to people that want to buy properties at a discount, right? So that's who I'm talking to at the moment. And you want to be able to look at the data, analyze the data. Like this guy had it for 575. He dropped it to 565. Had it listed for 54 days, right? You want to analyze the data. And you can look at the data. Does it have a garage? Is it an end unit townhouse? Right? Now, once we get this data and information in our local backyard, we realize, okay, let's look at this guy, right? This guy right here, he had it 500. He dropped it down to 400, 193 days in the market. Okay, so he's ready to sell. All right. So now we're going to go in here. We're going to click on that. We're going to look at the property. Now, as you guys can see, right, this particular project, somebody bought the project, could not finish it, right? It's in D.C., the District of Columbia, and they've done the demo, they've done all the work, but they were not able to complete the transaction. Now, what do? Right? We want to buy this property. So we come in here, we click on this H right here. It's called history, property history, right? Click on the property history, and then we scroll down to the bottom. We look at the property. So we could look at, based on the information, you could tell, what kind of property this is, right? So if I click on this data right here in 2002, you can see they had it listed. It's 2 bedrooms, very clean. They were trying to rent this out. And then I'll say, okay, you know what? Let me go back and I look at, this was the rental property. Here's what it used to look like, before they did the demolition. And this gives you an idea of what the property used to look like before they did the demolition work, right? So it's a multifamily, it's a 2-unit building. So my thing is, use the MLS, use the data, right? As a realtor. And then what I would do next is, okay, well, where can I sell this property at? So I know that this is a deal, this is a transaction, it's in my local backyard. Well, how can I sell it? How can I get out? Because you got to look at the exit strategy. And then I scroll down and I look at the neighborhood. I look at this right here, home demand index. What kind of demand is in this neighborhood, in this particular block, in this particular street, the demand is high, right? It says steady. It's a high demand, right? And then I come down here and I look at this data and I say, okay, well, what's going on? 2023, 24, 25, 27. You got to analyze the data. And as you guys can see, the data, people are selling in this neighborhood, but people are also closing at what they're expecting. So there were 37 sales right here, or 41 sales right here, right? And are they getting what they want? And they are. And you want to be able to say, you know what? I could play with this neighborhood. And then what I do is, I come in here because I'm going to look at the after repair value. And then I have another bright MLS open on the side here, right? And then I analyze the deal. And then I look at to see what is currently selling in the neighborhood, right? So there's deals right here in your neighborhood. There's deals right here. So like this transaction here, I was on 13th Street Northwest. Well, this is a multi-million-dollar neighborhood, right? So I say, okay, what's a 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathroom, whatever. I look at this tax assessment of $752. All right, how long? And look at the neighborhood. Is it going up or is it going down? This neighborhood is going up. You want to look at the data. The data will tell you what's happening in the neighborhood, right? So this particular project, they started off at $699 was the original price. They dropped down to $675. They had it in the market for 84 days as is. So let's take a look at this, right? So you have a transaction in a very good multi-million-dollar neighborhood. And these are the stickers that I'm talking about, right? So when you see stickers, when you're driving for dollars and you see like notices and stickers by the county and the city on the doors, that means there's a violation, a code violation. And you got to use that for your advantage. You got to take advantage of it. Take a picture of the house, go through your machine, run your numbers, go through different public records, and look at it, right? So this particular project, as you guys can see, they started the work, right? They got the floors in, they got the drywall in. Looks like they got the recessed lights in. I guess they're going to keep the stairs the way they are. They got the banisters in. They got the kitchen island. I mean, I don't know how and why would they put in a kitchen island before. I mean, because construction is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5. There's a flow to construction. There's a flow, right? What these guys did is just immature, uneducated work right here. Why would you put in all this when all this is not done, right? So you want to take advantage of dumb investors. I'm sorry, but you do. You want to make money, take advantage of dumb investors. They fucked up, then you take, I can't say that. I forgot about that. I cannot use customers. All right, I'm getting better. All right. But like, for example, what I would do is take this property and then I would say, okay, well, let me see what is selling in the neighborhood, right? So I would come into the one of the bright MLS and I would put in the address and I would come in here. I'll say, show me everything that's selling very close by, 0.25 distance, right? And I would even change it when you have a lot of stuff to 18. So, all right, I want to see everything that is selling in the neighborhood, right? So you got properties in the neighborhood very close to this property that are selling for $900,000, right? Can you make that property and finish it up and buy it and fix it up and make it into a beautiful luxury home like this, right? Can you take this property and analyze the numbers and run your numbers and buy it at a discount? Now, you know the fact that this property is on the market for a little while, right? How do you negotiate? That's where it comes to negotiation skills and analyzing the numbers. Can you make this, right, look like this, right? Can you make it look like this? Yes or no? Yes, you can, right? Because you know this is possible. This is the end goal. So our job as investors And our job as real estate developers and general contractors is to provide this kind of value, right? If you're a homeowner and you have inherited property that does, look like this and needs work, or that looks like, like this, and it's totally like messed up, we as Brickfront Properties will come in and partner with you as homeowners. And if you inherited property and you don't know what to do with it, and you're in California and the property is here in DC, Maryland, Virginia, we will take this property and make it into a multi-million-dollar transaction, right? So we bought this property, for example, okay, and it's listed right now in the market for $1.3 million, right? We turned this into a multi-million-dollar project. So this is what we're talking about, is how do you add value? We are a value-add company. We've been doing this for a very long time. We have a design team. We have architects. We got planners. We got people that do drawings, 2D, 3D. We have realtors. We have people that do staging of the furniture. We have photographers. We have a whole entire team. We've developed this over a long process. We fired people. We hired people. I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy. And we built a very nice, tight team. And I want to be able to show you, right? If you want to invest in the local DC, Maryland, Virginia, connect with me. Talk to me. Subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to our Instagram, our YouTube, our Twitter. Give us the likes. Give us the comments, right? Learn from us. Let me show you, let me teach you how you can maximize the highest value for your personal property that you have, that you want to get the highest after repair value. And also, if you're an investor and you're trying to get started and you want to understand the market, let me show you, right? This is what I've been doing. This is how I feed my family, right? This is how I pay my bills. I find ugly homes in great neighborhoods, and I'll fix them, and I'll flip them, and I'll make money. And I'm going to show you guys the same thing. And I've been doing this for a very long time. All right. So I'm Sid Hamid with Brickfront Properties and Construction. I've been a home inspector for over 20 years. I've been a home builder. I'm a general contractor. I've taught over 10,000 real estate agents in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area in the last 10 years. Keller Williams, Exit Realty, Samsung Properties. I could give you a whole list of people that I've taught and worked with. But my thing is, if you want the business and you want to make money, we only got a few things, right? We got time, we got energy, we got focus, and we got clarity. As long as you're clear with what you want and you be able to create a vision plan, a drawing board, like timelines. I want this property at this price. I want to be able to exit at this price. You got to visualize this, right? So right now, we're about to sell the property in Rockville, Maryland. Like, we bought it for $400. We're about to go live next week, and we're about to make money on that. And now I'm not sharing anything like weird. I'm just telling you exactly what I do. This is exactly what I do every single day. But I have a call center. I got callers that are making calls on probate, properties, divorce, bankruptcy. So we make thousands of phone calls. We send out text messages. We send out rigorous voice messages. We got a CRM. We build a database. We build a pipeline. We follow up. We follow up. We follow up. We have an email sequence: email 1, email 2, email 3, email 4, text message 1, text message 2, text message 3. Let me show you. If you want to work this business and you want to understand this business right here in DC, Maryland, Virginia, talk to me. Hit me up. You go to a YouTube channel, say, hey, I love this guy. Subscribe to the channel. Give us some thumbs. Give us some comments. Give us some feedback. And go to our Instagram and all these other channels, whatever they are. I mean, I don't know. I'm a home builder. But I got my marketing team doing what they do, right? But the information is there. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. Let me pass this information on to you guys so you understand how you could create wealth and create money right here in your backyard. You ain't got to go to California, Texas, New York, Florida. The money's right here in our backyard. Let me show you how to find the next deal, and let me show you how to flip it, fix it, and flip your money, baby. Sid Hamid with Brickfront Properties and Construction. I'm trying to keep these conversations like 37 minutes to 40 minutes long so you guys get enough information to understand my value, what I bring to the table. And again, we're going to have a live event at the hotel, either in Largo or Bowie, Maryland. We're still going through the logistics. But for now, look at our videos. Version 1 video we did April 3rd, April the 17th, and today. Look at our videos. Pay attention. We're providing you a lot of valuable knowledge, information for right here. If you're a home seller and you got a property and you got equity and you want to sell it for the highest price, let us come and do your construction work. If you're a realtor and you're looking for a listing or you're looking for a deal and how to analyze the market so you can provide that information to your cash buyers so you can get the listing on the back end, let me show you how to do that. If you're a first-time home buyer, right, and you want to buy a property at a discount and build that equity, well, let us come in there and say, hey, look, let's buy this property for $500 and let's put in $200. The ARV is going to be $800. Now you got instant equity. I've been doing this for years, and I'm real, I'm authentic, and I got nothing to hide, baby. I got nothing to hide. So if you like this information, you like what you're seeing, you understand what I'm saying, give some love, share some information, and then let's make some money. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a live event coming up at the hotel, and I'm going to show you guys. Now, what these guys did is totally wrong. Why would you put in a kitchen island with the waterfall and not have your drywall done? And why would you put in your hardwood floors when all this work? These are the mistakes, right? Real estate investing has phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5. The stages, okay? These guys clearly made a mistake, and they got messed over. And now they're in a position where they got to liquidate this property. All right. Hey, I'm Sid Hamid with Brickfront Properties and Construction. We'll talk soon. Look me up on the internet. Google me. Send me some love. All right. Send me some comments. And tell me if you like the information. I'll see you next week on Thursday. Take care. Bye-bye.